I haven't quite decided if the reason that I've been seeing / reading more articles about, well, reading and youth and their relationship to the what seems like chores sometimes comes from me reading more opinion pieces and blogs, or just because it's that time of the year again. Summer break, and parents need to keep their kids busy while still keeping their minds busy as well. One article that I read a couple weeks ago in the Huffington Post concerned itself with boys and their relationship to books. I have a strong connection to this because I didn't really consider myself a reader until I got older, and when I say older, I mean a couple of years ago. When I was younger, I hated reading. Not that I'm significantly less active now, I was just more of an active and hyperactive child. So, running around my backyard creating imaginary situations in my head conquered the goals, at least what I thought at the time, of reading, losing oneself in another world to stimulate the brain. During those years, I really struggled with comprehension because books were something that I just skimmed to pass book reports and not something that I sought to for entertainment or education or enlightenment. I was never really a strong reading student, and I particularly remember in 5th grade I would have good grades in English, but I would have bad grades in reading. It's summer 2002 and Harry Potter's entered my life. What summer reading when I can read about a boy and his mysterious and wondrous magic school? I kept up this tradition of reading Harry Potter when I should have been reading summer reading until Deathly Hallows came out. This was a terrible practice because as I got older, summer reading became more of non-fiction history books and complicated adult fiction than the young adult novels that I read in middle school and the children's novels that were assigned to us in elementary school. I do remember, however, the summer before my junior year, I read Grapes of Wrath, and I loved it. And loving Grapes of Wrath was great and all, but I finished it the day before school started, so I didn't have time to read the second book that we were assigned that summer. Sometime during that year, I decided that I needed to make AP Lang less miserable somehow. So when my teacher assigned us Death of a Salesman, I went into it with an open mind and came out a changed individual. My senior year of high school, I really loved AP Lit and all the books that I read in it. So I think the mixture of AP Lit and reading all these texts and enjoying them and discovering John Green's novels really made me a reader. A couple weeks ago, I asked my Twitter followers when they became avid readers or just readers in general, and I got some interesting responses. Although I'm still not sure if I'm surprised or if I'm sad or both that most of the responses had ages a lot younger than when I became a reader, which, like I said, was about 2 years ago. However, 3 of the responses did stand out. Liz said she realized she was a reader when she started reading more than she would play outside. Tiffany said she was the kid who could go to the library instead of taking naps in kindergarten. And Alexa said it wasn't until she read 4 books in a week that she considered that as a much more enjoyable activity than playing with Barbies. So, in response to the discussions that I've been reading about, well, reading, I think the solution lies within younger readers having enough time in which to do it. Reading a novel is a big time commitment, and I think with other activities such as homework and school and everything else, it gets put on the back burner. Most of you know that I was a competitive in year-round swimmer for 11 years, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the time that I had finished swimming and had almost finished high school, that I had more time to pick up a book and read it for entertainment and education and enlightenment. I think the kids who are struggling with reading and saying that they aren't avid readers and failing reading assessments in primary and secondary schools are the same kids who have just too much going on in their lives to fit reading in. However, not every family values reading over other activities such as being physically active. I think many kids, and I guess here male youth, think that calling themselves reader doesn't match up to more physically exuberant titles such as professional sports athlete or combat warrior. Basically, I doubt non-reading kids see the value in reading. I know I didn't, and looking back on my previous years, I wish that I had read some of these books that I just skimmed to pass tests and book reports. And of course, there's no simple solution to get kids to read, Some will be more inclined to get lost on playgrounds than in stories hidden away in libraries. And after reading all these articles about youth and reading, I've been more appreciative of my ability to read. I've stopped and thought about how I wouldn't be able to comprehend road signs or order from a menu, or engross myself in stories of intangible places and thought-provoking characters, unless I'd first learn how to, well, read.